Uncommon Women, a podcast that provides a platform for women of all walks of life to share their upbringings, life lessons learned, experiences, and journeys to come. Uncommon Women speaks on topics that can relate to all women. We share, we listen, we laugh, we cry, and we empower each other to be the best uncommon woman that they can be. Ultimately, we are cultivating a global movement of women supporting women. Women supporting entrepreneurship, relationships, self-love, and so much more. We inspire each other to make an impact on this world for the better. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Uncommon Women. Now, finally, grab a seat, get comfortable, and hear from your wonderful hosts, Shanira and Jenny Lee. Hi, kings and queens. Thank you so much for tuning in to Uncommon Women. I'm Shanira.
And I'm Jenny Lee.
And today we have an amazing guest speaker by the name of Sherine. She goes by Love More. She's going to be coming on today to share her testimony, as well as give us some tips in building confidence. So before we get into the good stuff today, I did want to let you know a little bit about Sherine and what she's doing for the community. Go ahead and read her bio. Love More lives in Canada, blessed to be a mother of a 14-year-old young lady named Sade. Her personal daily mission is to love more while encouraging others to do the same. Sherine is a life coach as well as a chef. She empowers others to feed the body, soul, spirit daily. Her reminder to each queen is to practice daily self-love and self-care, just as like we are eating daily in our own unique way. So before we get into the good stuff today, thank you so much, Sherine, for coming on to Uncommon Women. Can you first give us a little background in regards to how you got the name Love More?
First of all, thank you so much for the ability to connect. I just feel as if we're just like sitting and reconnecting as girlfriends. So it's always a fun time to connect. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to connect and to share. I believe it is so important for us to share our stories and share how we overcame and how we're overcoming and healing. So to make a very long story short, Love More is my late mother's maiden name.
Okay.
And I wanted to have an opportunity to do what she didn't do. She didn't understand the legacy in her name. And I thought that the least I could do to celebrate her, to celebrate this legacy, was to champion this and have it become my own legacy. So that is how Love More really, that's how I took on the name.
That's awesome. And it's so powerful because it's a part of you. It's definitely a part of you. So that's so powerful how you're able to, live off that legacy in regards to your family. So before we get into the good things, can you tell us a little bit about your life and how was everything growing up?
Growing up, I lived in Jamaica, of course, and it was always centered around family, the outdoor, the lush Caribbean setting, and all of that stuff.
Oh, we got a little kids. That's fine.
Okay. They decided that they wanted to come and forgot the rules.
We'll come and play outside.
So growing up was school and home. School and home, my siblings, and I was very, very quiet. And as I said, it was growing up outside, playing in the yard, playing with stuff that we didn't even have, and just being creative. But I spent a lot of time with family, with my siblings. So that was the essence of growing up when I was younger. So I was going to school, coming back home and playing with my siblings, that sort of stuff. There wasn't a lot of excursions and going out and that sort of stuff. It was mainly church, school, family, repeat.
Okay.
But it was fun. It was fun because we had the foundation of family.
Yes.
right. So we're very, very close. I was very, very, very close to my brother and sisters, which I'm very thankful for. And summertime was going to what we call in Jamaica country.
Okay.
So I would go to
Oh,
country, and there's like lots of farm, and I didn't like it then, to be quite honest. But that really, it all that set the foundation for me for my chef journey. A lot of people don't
Okay.
know that I'm a chef as well. Chef for over 20 years.
Okay.
Going to country was the foundation for my cooking skills. So I appreciate that journey. I learned a lot, but then back then I did not like going to country. I did not like going to country. Like when my other friends were traveling overseas, I was going to country to pick mangoes and eat mangoes. But when you become an adult, you see the
Parents.
blessings and the
Mhm.
beauty of
yes.
where you're coming
Mhm.
from. And now I have a lot of appreciation because it has groomed me to become the person I am today. So I'm so thankful, even though back then I was like, no, I don't want to go to country.
Yes, because as we're kids, we're like, we're missing out. I want to go do what they're doing. I want to have fun, and it's like it's a reason to everything. You know, it's a
Yeah.
reason
Hmm.
to why. And who would have known you would have been a chef for 20 years? You know.
Wow. I gotta definitely taste your food then.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we gotta come to Canada.
When we connect either in the US, the Canada, or in the Caribbean, we'll
Yes,
definitely have a big cooking.
celebration.
We'll celebrate. We'll cook on the outdoors, and we'll go back to country style.
Mm.
Nice.
The fire cooking, the cooking outside, because that is true, authentic flavor. I can appreciate that
Mm.
now with the smoke in the eyes and all that.
Mm.
And
I'm
we'll dance
excited.
as well.
I
And
know.
yeah.
um, Sherine, can you speak? Why were you shy and what changed your life?
I would definitely say that I was shy because knowing what I know now, I didn't have the understanding of knowing who I am. I
Mm.
didn't have the understanding of I was I am fearfully and wonderfully made. So
Yeah.
I have
Yes.
like my presence is necessary. So when you don't have that awareness and acceptance, it will definitely affect your image, how you feel about yourself, and
Yes.
not being vocal and using your voice or embracing your voice. But it's also, I give thanks for that because you know what? It's so beautiful to look back and see how far God has taken us.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a story of overcome for us to appreciate, at least for me.
Yes.
If we've had a life where everything is just like beautiful and there's no pain, there's no
Yeah.
transformation, there's no test,
Struggle.
where would
Mm-hmm.
be the
Yeah.
testimony? There wouldn't be no need for testimony. How would we grow? How would we evolve? How would we blossom? So I am thankful for those years of not having a voice, not knowing who I am, because it has allowed me to, I became very curious.
Mm.
And what really became the catalyst for me, I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to change. This has to change. I want to have a voice. I want to embrace my voice. Everything, everything great that happened to me happened because my mom went to heaven.
Mm.
That one singular event completely changed my life
Wow.
for the better, because what happened when I saw my mom in that state and the pain and just slipping away each day, something happened to me. I saw the magnitude of life, which I've
Mm.
never seen before. You know, there's this saying, you don't know what you have until you lose it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
while
Hmm.
I'm losing my mother, my eyes are opening to the abundance of life. It's almost like I had cataract on my eyes, and it was slowly being removed for me to start seeing the sun, the sky, and have an appreciation for life. So when my mom, and I like to say graduate to heaven, because it just gives me a different reframe of how that experience. So when I lost my mom, a lot of things started to happen. I became curious. I'm like, who am I? Why am I
Mm.
here? Where am I going? And then I started to become more self-aware. And through self-awareness, I started to learn to love myself more and to love myself, and like to really have a spiritual appreciation for who I am. For me, the biggest blessing on this journey was asking the question, I want to know who God says I am. And
Mm.
when you have that awareness, it really allows you to accept that, you know what, God created me. He stamped my name with a purpose. He has a calling on my name. I'm brought here for a particular purpose and reason. And that is where the confidence comes from. It's not man-made. The confidence that I grew and I tapped into was really just owning, identifying who is it that God says I am. God says I am a royal ambassador. God
Yeah.
says I'm the daughter of the kings of kings. So whenever I'm, even now, as much as I've grown to be so confident, whenever I'm having low days and I forget who I am, that is what I go back to. I'm profoundly called. I'm divinely equipped. I'm here for a purpose. I'm here for a specific assignment.
Yes.
I matter, you matter, we matter.
Yes.
So that is where I get the peak of my confidence from. That holds me. That is holds me, and that is, it's so amazing when you can, the truth never change. And
Mhm.
the truth that God says is that you we are fearfully and wonderfully made. That will never ever change. So I always go back to the truth whenever I need to remind myself and I need a little bit more confidence booster. I go back to that particular truth, and that is how I maintain my confidence.
That's so beautiful. Um, I love it. I love it. Did you and your mother, was your mother a confident person as well? Or was she shy? Or did you?
Um, my mother, my mother was shy, not as shy as I was.
Okay.
I was very, very shy. Couldn't hold a conversation and look someone in the eye.
Okay.
Wow.
And this went on for 43 years.
Wow.
This went on for 43 years. So if anyone's watching this and they're way younger than I was at that time, trust and know there is lots of hope. If I can do it, so can you. And I'm just so thankful that I'm on the other side of that level of shyness. But God had a plan.
Mm-hmm.
He had a
Yeah,
plan, right?
sure did.
So how did you break through that? Like, how did you go from 43 years of not being able to hold a conversation? We know that the higher power has
Yeah.
is what indebted in you to be able to just speak, and speak for him. But how did you take that next step with building that confidence?
As I said, when I was going through my mom's journey, someone said to me, a close neighbor, he said to me, "You're barely existing."
Oh.
Yes, and this was 2015, and I walked out of the house and I said, "Lord, I don't want anyone else ever to tell me that again." And the pain and the hardship that I felt, it shook me to the core where I'm like, I have to make a choice.
Mm.
I want better. I deserve better. And I started to become more self aware. Started as I said, I made the choice that I want to live.
Right.
And I really took the action to start living. And I really started to become more curious. I'm like, you know what? The lifestyle I was living before, feeling unworthy, not sleeping, not taking care of myself, not loving myself. I said, this has to stop. I was so far broken that you reach to a point of brokenness that, you know what? I'm like, Lord, I cannot do any more of this. I want to be able to rise within the light.
Yes.
I want to be able to come out of this. So I started to take tiny, tiny step from this choice that I want to live. I started to become more aware. I started to pay attention, like, who am I? What is it that I love? What makes me smile? And I started to mentally take notes of all these things. And little by little, I'm transforming because I am going within. I'm going within. I'm learning more about who I am. I'm loving the God, the unique God in me, because I had to see myself not from a human perspective. I had to, and I'm very thankful that God allowed me that revelation. And that was what I did. And I love that I did that first, because that allowed me to stay anchored. So I have a God perspective and a spiritual perspective as to the life that I want. I had a God perspective as to who I am. So I find that I had the anchor. God was my anchor. And then I had a different mindset as to who I am. It was no longer, I'm just here to work. And I would always have it in my mindset that, you know what, I'm here for powerful mission. I'm here for a purpose. Like, we are here for powerful mission. We're here for a powerful person. We just weren't sent here for just to take up space and to work and to do all the other things that we do. We have a calling on our name.
Yes.
And when you have to sit with that. You have to absorb that. And you have to allow that to sink in and say, I'm called by name. Right? I would just close my eyes and just like picture and dream, and like, you know what? God was in a room and is like, let's create Love More Sherine McLaughlin. She has no idea that in 2015 she's going to just transform and walk into this new identity. And it's like, love more, stamp, 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 stamp. Right? So I would just have that dream in my heart and my mind, and I really start to take on that identity. And the little bit I start doing a little bit of time, and of course in the beginning you're very uncomfortable, you're nervous,
right?
But I started to learn, like, you know what, I'm stepping into this.
You leap into faith.
I'm stepping into, and the more you step, the more just God like back you up with the confidence. So I started stepping a little bit, and I'm just making little improvements, and the more I'm improving, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I blossom so much. People are like, who are you? remember I've gone from shy to energy. Like, I've gone from people would say you're shy, you don't speak, to, oh my goodness, I love your energy, you have so much energy. Right? So that's the person that I've transformed from.
A whole 360. That's amazing.
It was just like, it honestly, it was like night and day, to the point where I myself, I had to, when the transformation started, I spent a lot of time at home, and I became very quiet because the transformation was so rapid and it was so profound. It's almost like, oh my goodness. But I also knew what was happening because I had an amazing mentor.
That's amazing.
I had an amazing mentor, and he prepared me. He's like, when you start to give God the permission to work through you,
hold on.
He's like he's gonna blow you off your
right.
feet. So the good thing is, I'm happy that I had his mentorship, because I probably would have been wondering, something's wrong with me. Right?
It was too much. Yeah, right.
It was a lot in a great way. But because I was prepared, I'm like, okay, I know what this is. So I had to get used to my energy, because I'm like, I went from I went from, if someone had said before 2015 energy, I was like, what is this energy thing? That's weird. What is that? Right? So I went from having no awareness of energy to becoming this person who I'm all about, and I'm energy.
Yes.
Right?
Wow.
So the
Yeah.
transformation is, I'm, even now when I sit and I think and I talk about it, I just get goosebumps because I'm like, look at you, Lord. Look how far. It's almost like a complete different person, but that person was always within. I just
Yeah.
had to learn who I am, and also join with God to help, for Him to help me to
Yeah.
unfold. It's almost like, you know what, a flower blooming and blooming and like, ow, right?
Yeah. I love it. I love it. It was just, it's like not only a flower, but like it's like a caterpillar. You just
Yes.
like you got your wings. You got your wings. You went from a caterpillar to a butterfly.
Yes. Yes.
I so love your energy. Can you speak on your relationship with your daughter and how it resonates with you helping women?
Yes. I think the first thing that popped in my mind, this was probably 2016. And this was when I was slowly transforming.
Okay.
And one night, we were praying together, and I said, Sade, I love you. And she's like, Mom, I love you too. And then she said, but, and I got a little bit nervous. And she's like, I love you too, but I love myself the most.
Oh,
She was probably 9.
oh, I just gave me chills.
Yes. And I just moved from my other home and, got separated. And that's when I was connecting more with God. And I knew God was speaking to me. And I
Mm.
knew He was telling me, this is the journey that you have to go on. You gotta love yourself the most. And of course, when I say love myself the most, outside of loving God, the next thing for me is to love myself the most.
Mm.
And He delivered that message through my daughter. That is like one of the most powerful moments. And that's when I started that journey. I'm like, you know what? And I always laugh and say to myself, I want to be the woman who loved the mostest,
Mm.
right? And
Mhm.
that message came through my daughter. I remember she said it, and she said it so clear, like, Mom, I love you, but I love myself the most. The most powerful message I've ever heard. That was it. That's it.
Something so simple can be used so powerfully. And I
Yes.
love how God uses people and they don't even know it. It's just like, I needed that. Like,
Yeah. And the thing is, too, she said it so confidently. And the moment she said it, I said, Lord, look at you. I got the message. I'm like, memo received.
confirmed.
Confirmed.
That's awesome. Can you speak and share on tips on how women can build confidence within themselves? I love your story and how your transition happened for the whole 360. How can you help others in regards to building confidence?
So, the first thing that, I think what is so important, you want to be anchored and rooted the right way. And if I'm giving anyone advice, because of the journey that I've been on, and because I want you to have a firm foundation, we have to start with God. We have to start with God. We have to have an awareness of, like, who are you, Shanera? Who
Mm.
are you, Jen? And when we ask the question of who are you, outside of the physical realm and having that physical body and your soul and your spirit, how did you get here? Why were you created? Where are you going? And why are you here? That is a huge part of unfolding who are you, right? So
Mhm.
that is the foundation of really talking about developing your confidence, you have to have a relationship with the creator. You have to have an understanding as to what he says about you. And that is a very good foundation to start to develop your confidence. And the more you know about who you are, and the more you know that I matter, I am necessary, I was brought here for a particular purpose, that will be a very excellent foundation to start to build your confidence. And I must say that it's not a journey where you can do this overnight and you're like, have your affirmation. It
No.
is an ongoing process.
Yes, it is.
It is an ongoing process. So you have the self awareness. And then once you become aware of to who you are, then you have to own and accept that. You can't just be aware and say, you know what, God says I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. You have to start owning that. You have to start walking in that shoes to say, you know what, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, and be humble about it. Right? And then there's so many other things that you can do. You can, who you connect with is so important. You want to be able to connect with people who also believe in themselves, because that will help you. You want to connect with people who are self-aware, who can also help you on the journey. So a lot of my journey and how much I've transformed, I had a very good mentor. So a mentor is great. And there's different ways you can find a mentor: through books, through a physical person, or through coaching, or through peers, or if you have a community group or church. But you want to be molded and groomed and speak life into, and to be built up, and to show. You want people who's going to show you, like, you know what, I see all these amazing, great things in you, and to be poured into. That's a very good foundation to start building your confidence and building your esteem and becoming more aware of who you are, so you can accept and own it and live your life in that.
Wow, those are some good gems you just dropped.
Yes, sure. Can you speak on you were mentioning earlier when we were having a conversation, your classes, you have started some classes and one-to-one sessions.
Absolutely, yes. So I had this vision to start a Love More Sisters and Masterpieces group. And the reason why I wanted to do that, I was connecting with a lot of women, and I knew that they didn't have the awareness of who they are. You can tell just by conversation that they didn't realize that, you know what, my queen, you are so fearfully and wonderfully made. There are great things in this life for you to do. You can make an impact. From your gifts and unique abilities, you can heal someone. And I realized that because I went on the journey, and I know that I'm here for a purpose. Even sometimes when I forget, I remind myself, like, I want this for women. I want women to live in their unique gifts and abilities. I want women to connect with their own unique creativity. I want women to wake up and know that they have purpose and that they matter and that they are enough. And I'm like, you know what? Stop saying you want these things. Do it. So I'm like, you know what, Lord, I'm going to create this Love More Sisters and Masterpiece group. And I started with 8 women. And as I started the program, I realized that I wanted so much more for these women. And I knew that I had to convert it from a group and to dig into a one-on-one session, because each queen, they have their own set of stories, they have their own set of direction and GPS and where they're going. And I'm like, Lord, I'm on a mission. I want to give these women more than they signed up for. I want them to achieve more than the goals that they have shared with me. I want, when they leave this program, they are so on top of the world in just owning and knowing who they are and speaking their truth, and all the dreams and the desires that they have in their heart, because they're tiptoeing and so timid and afraid to step out. I tell the women that I'm coaching, I said, you know what? I've learned to do things afraid, and that's one thing that I've learned that I want for women. A lot of times we have stuff to do and plans and dreams, but because we are fearful, and I said, you know what? Guess what? You can do it afraid. I call it face it and faith it. Face it and faith it. I know a lot of people say face it and fake it. I'm like, no, you face it, you step into it, and you faith this journey out. Even if you feel as if you're not strong enough or you're fearful, once you start to step and take action, that's a faith journey. So doing the one-on-one coaching sessions have been such a blessing to myself because I'm learning so much from these women. I'm excited. I feel as if every time I see them achieving and developing their confidence and taking bold action, I just feel like a mother. I just feel like a proud, I just feel like a proud mother. And I'm so thankful that God has just really gifted me the opportunity to make a difference and gifted me the opportunity to inspire and impact women to become leaders. And when I say leaders, we each have unique gifts and abilities. And I want women to stand up and lead in that. Identify what you are called for, identify what your purpose are, and I want you to stand in that and own, and I want you to lead through that. I want you to lead through that. So it is my mission to create leaders, not followers.
Yes.
It is my mission to create leaders. Like, what are you great at? Lead in that. That is your mission. Lead in that, and then inspire them to also create more leaders.
That's
Wow.
so it's a ripple effect.
It's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's all about leadership.
Yeah, I love how you're so personal with them because when you become personal, it gets deeper,
Yes.
and then that's when it just like they're that's when they start to open up more, and
Yes.
and you giving them that confidence and that little push because they have to push themselves too.
Yes.
I love how you just like go so deep and depth in that because I mean some of us women need that. We need somebody or a support system to help us, to have the inner us come out fully.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that is such a blessing that you do that for those women.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be able to listen to their stories and listen to their hearts and their heart desires, and to see them transform. In just like one lady sent me a message, it's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I transformed so much in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Right, even just
Amazing.
even just as much as posting on social media. I'm like, you know what, I want you to reintroduce yourself. And one day she spent the whole day writing a message. She was so nervous, and I just, I'm firm, but I also speak gently and encouragingly, right? I said, you know
Mhm.
what, you have to post today, because if I allow you to keep procrastinating and like not doing it, I said, I said in a very soft and gentle voice, I said, I can't allow you not to say no to you. I want you
Mhm.
to say yes to you, right? And I encouraged her, and then she did it. So you develop the confidence when you take action, because when you start to achieve and you see that you're achieving, it's a great feeling, and then it encourages you as well to take more action. So
Yes.
sometimes honestly, we just need that friendly virtual encouragement, that friendly virtual hug, and to say, sister, I've got you. I'm stepping beside you. I'm stepping beside you. You're not alone. And sometimes that's all we need. It's just to know
Right.
that someone believes in me. Someone wants the best for me. Like, honestly, truly, from my heart, I want more than I want more than what I tell them I'm going to give them. I want to give them more than that. This is a journey of sisters traveling beside each other, holding hands together. We
Yes.
cry together, we pray together, we manifest together, we encourage together. They encourage me, they inspire me
Yes.
because we are each created unique. And that's one of the first thing I said to them. I said, you know what, ladies, I know you signed up for a coaching program, but I want to tell you, this is a sisters and masterpiece journey. Like journey. I know you signed up for a program, but when you come to Love More, we're going on a journey and we're holding hands. And sometimes you gotta lean on my back and put your head on my shoulder and I hug you when you're crying. But this is more than a coaching. This is sisters loving on sisters. This is sisters clapping and cheering for sisters. And this is sisters truly want you to win and truly want you to tap into that purpose that God has for you. This is what the Love More journey is all about. It's more than coaching. This is humanity coming together, serving in love, and becoming more of the leaders that God wants us to be.
I love that. It from you explaining it, it sounds like it's a sisterhood of
Yes.
accountability
Yes.
and leadership of planting those seeds
Yes.
to flourish. I love that. And you are the butterfly that Jenny Lee talked about.
And then you just have all the other butterflies alongside it, just
I know,
coming
right?
together.
Power in the
Like you could just see,
everything off.
you could just see the image and how beautiful it is. Like if you just imagine it, like the big butterfly and the little butterflies, and then they just turn into bigger butterflies.
Yes.
Right. It's a beautiful.
Thanks
Yeah.
for painting that picture. I love that.
The
Listen,
visual is
I
amazing.
love the visual is amazing. I love it.
And I just see bright colors because
Yes,
that's what
bright
it's
colors.
about.
Bright colors.
So can you speak a little bit more on your business and how you help others? We see that you have the one-on-one coaching that's going on now in regards to leaderships. Is there anything else that you do besides life coaching?
Right now, my focus is on Love More Life Coaching. I do also have a journal, a prayer, Love More Prayer and Gratitude Journal. And what I did with this journal, I used the lifestyle GPS print that I used to transform my life. And I'm like, I have to document this for someone else to follow. So Love More for me is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle of daily, consistent habits. The reason why a lot of times people don't see progress is because they're great one day with gratitude practice and then they're like, oh, I can skip it for another 2 weeks. And then they go back, they go back and they sit down like, I'm gonna do my gratitude today. I just want to share there's certain things I believe that should be standard, just like brushing your teeth. And it's getting up each day, having your daily gratitude practice, having your daily self-reflection. And the reason why I'm so particular about self-reflection, I went for 43 years not reflecting, not introspection, not going within and having that introspection. And what happened, things build up and build up and build up, and then you explode.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So I find for me, my journal allows me to create a habit and a lifestyle where I self-reflect every day because it's in my journal. So I self-reflect because I need to know where am I at? How am I feeling? How am I doing? What is it that I need?
Yes.
Where am I going? What is it that I want to work on? What am I celebrating today? So I don't want things to build up because the moment you identify where you're at, it's easier to plan and then you have small consistent actions rather than you're self-reflecting in 6 months and then you have like a whole box of things to go through. I don't want to get overwhelmed, so I do things. I self-reflect daily. Then I have the self-care. We have a self-care box within our journal, and what it does is it really inspires and really cultivates a habit of daily self-care. And when we talk about self-care, we're talking about your physical body, your soul, which is your mind, will, and emotion, and your spirit. And what I do, I'm encouraging you to spend time with yourself, but I want you to have a more wholesome, complete as possible look at taking care of yourself.
Mm.
So I want you to like every day is like, what do I need to do for my soul? When I talk about
Mhm.
soul, it's simple things. I will, because I'm working from home now. A soul care for me is go upstairs and listen to elevation worship. 8 minutes. That is good for my soul because it will help me to clear my mind. It'll give me the will to do these things as I want to do, and it will help me with my emotion. So the Love More lifestyle and the Love More blueprint, it allows you to live the most optimal, fulfilled life in a day, even when you're having a difficult season. This is where you're rooted. You're rooted in daily prayers, daily gratitude, daily self reflection, daily self care, daily affirmations. How can you not build as a person and build that stability and mindset that you need when you're working on yourself every single day? So I'm super thankful that I really was able to do a long life dream of mine and to get this journal out. It is available. You can definitely reach out, and there is support as well with the journal because what I'm creating is everything that I do centers around a community. I'm not going to just send you a journal just for selling it to you. I'm very intentional about the community I'm creating. I want you to blossom. I want you to bloom. So you have my expertise and guidance with the journal as well. We meet once monthly and we have a journaling life coaching session where we also connect. So it's all about connecting in love and having a safe space where you can express yourself, and we journal together. We have love more life prompts, as I call them, and we build and we grow together.
Yes,
That's amazing.
that is amazing. So, is there anything you want to express or speak about that we didn't cover?
I think we pretty much. I think we pretty much touch on. I can't think. I honestly can't think of anything top of mind other than my regular message. And like my regular message is I just want to see people live in joy.
Yes.
Yes.
I want to see people live in joy. I'm like, when I get up, sometimes when I get up, I don't get up with the big smile on my face. But, as I said, I have a joy list. I have things that I do every single day that activate the happy chemicals. And I do this every day. So when people are like, you're always so happy because I work on it. As I said, I love happiness.
Hmm.
I want to be as happy as I can, independent of people, places, and things.
Right.
So this is why self-awareness and self-love is so key, because you can be a singular focus and still be happy. And that's what I learned. I had to just like become one with the Lord, become a singular element and not focus on I need a husband to be happy, I need this to be happy. I had to learn to be happy by myself with
Hmm.
the help of the Lord and connecting with the Lord. So, what do I want for others? I just want the biggest thing that I want for others and what I want to leave you with. I want you to know why God brought you here. What is that mission? What is that purpose? What is that calling?
Yes.
Because if you were created for a particular purpose and you're not seeking that and fulfilling that, my question is, why are you here? Right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so for me is it's living in joy independent of whatever is happening in your life. Be joyful in a storm, because you can have joy in a storm, because you know what, consider pure joy when all you're going through those difficulties, because you know it's going to build your character and strengthen who you
Yeah.
are,
Yes, it is.
right?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
Indeed. Yeah.
for me the three top things are purpose, joy, and love. I
Mm.
want you to fall so much in love with yourself that that love and light inspires other to love as well. I
Yes.
want you to walk in the uniqueness of who you are. So when you're connecting and you're serving those you are assigned, you're blessing and healing others. And I want people to know that you have a calling with your name stamp on it,
Right.
and the unique you are assigned to serve people,
Mm,
not necessarily everyone, but you're assigned to serve people. And only you alone can do what you were called to do. No one can step in your
that's
shoes.
right.
Yep.
No one can step in your shoes. And that is what I want people to know. So you can have that awareness and humbly step in that confidence and say, you know what? All this time I didn't know, one lady said to me, she's like, all this time I didn't know I was so special. I was so special to God. I'm like, yes, he loves you. I'm like, yes, he's just so, oh, he's like so in awe of you. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know
Mhm.
that God loves us so much. He wants the best for us. And sometimes that's all someone needs to know. That someone loves them unconditionally, no, regardless of whatever you've done in the past. Someone loves you. You can bet
Yes.
on it that someone God loves you that much. And she's like, oh my gosh. It was like, wow, Lord. Like people really need to know how much you love them.
That's so true. True. I definitely can agree. I feel like when people are looking for their mission, sometimes they get discouraged because it's like, oh, well, this person's doing that, this person. But it's
Yeah.
like, I understand that, but only you can do it the way that God wants you to do it. No
Yep.
matter
Yes.
how many
Yes.
people is doing the same thing, no matter
Yep.
how many podcasts there is,
Yeah,
there's
that's
going to be
true.
another podcast like my podcast.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I always
Because
say
it's
only you
led.
can do you.
Right.
Yeah. It's
Only
true.
you can do you. Only you can do you. And I mean, it's not always easy. We have imposter syndrome. Sometimes we're looking at like, why is she there? And why am I here?
Uh-huh.
Sometimes when we're in the presence of someone and they're in their light and their gifting, we have a tendency to feel diminished when we're just like looking on their gifting and
Mm-hmm.
uniqueness because we forget ours. But we
Yeah.
have to remember that we are special and unique, and we have to surround ourselves with people who say, Shanira, oh my goodness, you have this light,
Right.
right? Jen, you have this bubbly, beautiful smile, and you want to be able to be around people who are feeding you that,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
feeding you that on a regular, so you're not running dry.
Right. Come
Yeah.
on.
Right? we,
Yeah.
we don't have time to be running dry because we have a mission and
Mission.
purpose.
Yes.
We're on a mission, right? So
Yes.
it's very important. So there's so many different things that we need the right people to feed and fuel us. We don't want to be running dry. And for a very long time I was running dry because I was just like extending, giving, and no one was pouring into me, and God just sent a
Mhm.
lot of people to start pouring into
Oh,
me.
that's amazing.
It's so amazing when you just have people pouring into you and loving on you and mentoring
Yes.
you. Oh my good. Listen, I want that for the world. I want people to be
Yeah.
We need
mentored.
it. We need
We
it.
Yeah.
all we all
Yes,
need it.
we do. We
So
definitely do.
we all need
Right.
it.
We all need it.
We all need it. So I always like encourage someone, you know what? Look out within your circle, your community, and see someone you admire, and see someone who you feel as if they would be a good mentor for you, and just like reach out to that person. And on the other flip side, let us always remember to mentor someone.
Mm.
Let us do our part. If everyone take up that role to say, you know what, let
Yeah.
me give back, let me just sow into someone, let me pour into someone, our world will be so much better and fruitful, and we'll be living more purposefully,
Abundantly. Yes.
abundantly. Absolutely.
Yes. So love more. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I love how you use your purpose to just to help women build up their confidence. But we have a question and we ask all our guest speakers, what makes you uncommon?
Wow. What makes me uncommon is my unique calling.
Mm.
That makes me uncommon. Like no one can step in my lane when it comes to that, because that was not your calling. That's not your calling.
Yeah.
That makes me uncommon. My calling, my unique calling, which is love more, that makes me uncommon. And there's many other things, but that's the number one uniqueness. That's what makes me uncommon. I've embraced it. Took me a very long time to own it. I own it because God has gifted me this.
Mm.
He has stamped my name to say, this is your unique calling. I have many assignments. I have millions of assignments, right? And we each
Right.
have we each have
Yeah.
millions of assignments that
That's
God
true.
wants us to do on a daily basis. For me, purpose is living and serving in love and light. My unique purpose and my calling is love more. But
Mm.
purpose for me is every day. Purpose is every day. Purpose is just being an example of love and light. And our unique calling now is that unique mission that God wants you to fulfill. So my uncommon trait is that I am called to love more, and I'm called to lead by allowing others to see the impact of love and loving more on a daily basis. And I've accepted the journey. I've accepted the calling. I'm happy for the calling because it's making me so much more of a beautiful person inside. And I want people to experience that with love. Love is the best way of really developing true beauty inside.
Mhm.
I want that for others. It has built my energy. It has just allowed me to blossom and just being a vessel of intentional choosing love every day, speaking from love, making a choice from love. It's a beautiful way to live, and I want that for others. At least who those of for those who are
I'm gonna
ready
receive
to
it.
go on that
Right.
journey, that's what I want for others, just to live in that abundance of love. I've experienced the beauty, and it would be selfish of me not to want others to experience that.
Mm. I love
Mm.
that. I love that. That's so beautiful. And thank you so much for coming on. And
Yes.
thank you for who you are and your love and your leadership and just what you do for women and young women. And I hope someone will take heed this evening to what you have said. And thank you so much for sharing your testimony.
I am so delighted to be here. I'm so happy that we've connected. You guys are true sisters. We are walking the talk. We are
Mhm.
not just saying this, and we're really just doing our part to just build a sisterhood of love and just to inspire others to know that you are uncommon and you're
Mhm.
beautiful.
Yeah,
So
I like
I'm so thankful. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for being my sisters. I love when we
Yes.
connect and we pray together. Oh my God. I love the best thing I love about you guys is when we have our little prayer. Oh my gosh, it's
Mhm.
so beautiful.
yeah.
It's so beautiful. Thank you for what you're doing. I celebrate you all. Thank you for all the impact you have on women. I celebrate both of you and celebrate all that you're doing. And thank you for creating and impacting us to be more uncommon.
Oh, thank you. I
Thank you
received
so
that.
much. Thanks. Um, thank you for our listeners for coming on and listening to this evening and listening to this wonderful lady here. Before I close out, I want to speak on our clothing. Oh, I want to speak on our clothing, and also if you have someone that wants to come on as a guest speaker, or if you want to come on as a guest speaker yourself, you can check out our website at www.uncommonwomen.net. Um, Also, make sure you tune in next week. Not only that, make sure you like and subscribe our YouTube channel and Stay uncommon.
Bye.
Stay at
Bye.
home. Bye.